Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something huge, a truly monumental shift in the global car industry. We are looking at the exact moment the world's largest car market officially flipped to electric. And trust me, this is a change that's going to have ripple effects for years to come. Okay, let's get right into it. Here it is, 50.1%. That's the number that changes absolutely everything. For the very first time in history, more than half, you heard that right? More than half of all new passenger cars sold in China are now what they call new energy vehicles. This isn't just a trend anymore. This is a tipping point. A line in the sand has officially been crossed.
And just look at what that tipping point looks like in motion. The numbers from the first half of 2025 show this massive split happening. While NEV sales shot up by a whopping 33%, sales of old-school internal combustion engine cars actually dropped by over 5%. You see, this isn't some slow, gradual transition. It's a full-on market takeover, and it's happening right now.
So to really wrap our heads around this revolution, we're going to break it down. First, we'll look a little closer at that 50% tipping point. Then, we'll go inside the sales boom to see what's actually selling. After that, we'll uncover the unseen battery battle that's powering this whole thing. We'll also check out China's global EV push, and finally, we'll ask the big question: what on earth happens next?
Okay, let's start with part one, the 50% tipping point. What does it really mean when a market this gigantic officially flips?
First, just a quick clarification so we're all on the same page. When we say NEV, or New Energy Vehicle, that's the official Chinese term for these electrified cars. It mostly covers two things: fully electric vehicles, BEVs, and plug-in hybrids, or PHEVs. Simple enough, right?
Now check out these raw numbers, because this is where it gets really interesting. In just the first half of 2025, nearly 5.5 million NEVs were sold. Compare that to 5.4 million traditional cars. So NEVs aren't just a growing segment anymore. They are now, in absolute numbers, the dominant choice for new car buyers in China. The new default.
So, we know NEVs are the new majority, but what does that boom actually look like from the inside? Let's dig in and see which types of electric cars are really winning and, get this, reveal a surprise leader that is shaking up the entire market.
So, within that giant NEV number, it turns out fully electric vehicles, the BEVs, are still the clear favorite. They make up about 61% of all sales. But, don't sleep on plug-in hybrids. They're a pretty formidable force, holding down a solid 39% of the electrified market.
Yeah, and you really shouldn't count those hybrids out. As industry analyst Lei Sheng points out, this battle is far from over. With huge new models coming from companies like Xiaomi and XPeng, the competition between pure electrics and those advanced hybrids is really about to heat up.
And get this, the top 3 best-selling cars of any kind in China are all new energy vehicles. The Geely Xingmian actually took the top spot, followed by the super popular BYD Seagull and then the Tesla Model Y. You have to go all the way down to 7th place to even find the best-selling gasoline car. It's a total takeover.
And that number 1 spot is a massive story. Lei Sheng literally calls the Geely Xingyuan's rise to the top the surprise of the year. It just goes to show you how incredibly competitive and fast-moving this market is, where a new champion can basically just show up out of nowhere.
Okay, on to part 3, the unseen battery battle. Because hidden underneath all these sales numbers, there's a huge technology war being fought that is defining the entire future of the electric car.
The main fight is between 2 different kinds of battery chemistry. On one side, you've got LFP, that's lithium iron phosphate, and it's quickly becoming the new standard in China. On the other side is NMC, which uses nickel, manganese, and cobalt, and it used to be the dominant, more expensive go-to technology. And wow, the data here shows a clear, decisive winner. In just 1 year, the use of LFP batteries has surged by a staggering 73%. Meanwhile, NMC installations, they fell by almost 11%. The market has spoken, and it's not even close.
So the takeaway here is pretty definitive. As Lei Sheng puts it, LFP is king. This one technology is pretty much set to dominate the battery world for the foreseeable future.
And that marks a really fundamental shift in what's actually powering millions and millions of new cars.
Now, this total dominance in batteries and sales isn't just a domestic story. Oh no. China is now taking this revolution to the rest of the world. So let's take a look at its global push.
For the first time ever, China exported over 1 million new energy vehicles in just the first 6 months of the year. That is an unbelievable growth rate of over 74% from the year before. The global EV market is literally being reshaped by this massive wave of exports.
But here's where it gets really interesting. We just saw how LFP batteries are completely taking over the domestic market in China, right? So you'd think that's the tech they're sending out to the rest of the world?
Well, get ready for a twist, because the answer is a surprising no. The battery mix for the cars they export is almost the complete opposite of their home market. Nearly 60% of exported batteries are the older NMC chemistry. Now, why is that? It's likely because of different regulations and what customers want in markets like Europe. It creates this fascinating split between what China uses for itself and what it sells to the world.
And that brings us to our final section. What happens next? Now that we've seen the sales data, the tech shifts, and the global push, what's the big picture impact? What's the road ahead?
This number really puts it all into perspective. As of June 2025, over 10% of all cars driving on China's roads, not just new sales, but the entire fleet on the road today, are new energy vehicles. That's 36.9 million electric cars in total.
And as Lei Xing points out, this is another huge inflection point. I mean, it's one thing for half of new sales to be electric. It's a whole other thing for 1 out of every 10 cars you see on the street to be an NEV. This isn't about some far-off future anymore. This is the reality on the ground today.
And so we end with this question. We've seen the data, the incredible speed, and the sheer scale of China's EV revolution. The country has officially passed the tipping point where electric is the new normal. So the only real question left is, how long until the rest of the world follows?